The Phantom Train. It was supposed to be a simple, fun trip. A cross-country journey with my closest friends. Something we'd talked about for years. We were ready for adventure, but none of us could have anticipated what we were about to face. The train station buzzed with excitement as we arrived, our suitcases in tow, eager to start our adventure. The air was filled with the familiar sounds of trains clattering on tracks, announcements echoing through the halls, and the hum of conversations around us. Our train, the Midnight Express, was scheduled to depart at exactly midnight. We had planned this trip meticulously, and everything seemed to be going perfectly. The train itself was a beautiful relic, a testament to the golden age of rail travel. As we boarded, I couldn't help but marvel at the polished wood panels, the intricate brass fixtures, and the plush velvet seats. It felt like stepping back in time, a delightful surprise we hadn't expected. Settling into our compartment, we laughed and chatted, the excitement palpable. The train's rhythmic chugging soon lulled us into a relaxed state, and I found myself gazing out the window, lost in thought. It was then that I noticed something strange. The landscape outside was becoming blurred, almost like a painting melting in the rain. Then it shifted completely. Dense fog enveloped the train, and the scenery outside became an ever-changing tapestry of different eras and landscapes. One moment we were passing through ancient forests, the next, through futuristic cities. It was both mesmerizing and terrifying. "Are you seeing this?" Sarah, my best friend, whispered, her voice trembling. The rest of our friends, Mark and Lisa, stared wide-eyed at the window, their faces mirroring our confusion and growing fear. As the train continued its journey through time and space, ghostly figures began to appear. They were dressed in clothes from various periods, their eyes hollow and expressions vacant. They drifted through the corridors, paying us no mind, as if we were the ones out of place. "What is this place?" Mark muttered, his usual bravado stripped away by the eerie atmosphere. We tried to find a conductor, or anyone who could explain what was happening, but the train seemed deserted except for the spectral passengers. Panic set in as we realized we were trapped on this phantom train, a vessel that only appeared once every few decades, according to the snippets of conversations we overheard from the ghostly passengers. "We need to find a way back," Lisa said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes, "before this train disappears again." We huddled together, formulating a plan. We decided to explore the train, searching for clues or anything that might help us return to our reality. We moved from car to car, the eerie silence only broken by the occasional moan of the train and the whispers of the ghosts. In the dining car, we found an old journal, seemingly left behind by another unfortunate soul who had been trapped on this train. The entries were frantic, describing the same confusion and fear we felt, but towards the end, there was a mention of a way out, a special compartment hidden at the very end of the train. With renewed hope, we made our way to the end of the train, the ghostly figures growing denser, their whispers growing louder. They seemed to sense our purpose, and for the first time, they acknowledged us, their hollow eyes watching our every move. We found the hidden compartment, a small door almost invisible in the dim light. With trembling hands, I pushed it open. Inside was a room unlike the rest of the train, filled with glowing symbols and an ancient-looking control panel. "This must be it," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The way back." We gathered around the control panel, unsure of what to do. The journal mentioned a sequence of buttons to press, but it was in a language none of us recognized. Desperation mounting, we tried different combinations, the train around us beginning to shudder violently. Just when it seemed hopeless, the symbols on the control panel began to glow brighter, and the room filled with a blinding light. I felt a sensation of being pulled, stretched through time and space until everything went dark. When I opened my eyes, we were back in our compartment, the familiar landscape of the present day outside the window. The ghostly passengers were gone, replaced by the mundane bustle of a normal train journey. We sat in stunned silence, the reality of what had happened slowly sinking in. We had boarded a phantom train, traveled through time and space, and somehow found our way back. It was an adventure none of us would ever forget, a story that would haunt us for the rest of our lives. As the train pulled into our destination, we disembarked, the world around us feeling both familiar and strange. We never spoke of the phantom train again, but the bond between us was forever changed. We had faced the unknown together and emerged on the other side, forever marked by the journey through the realms of the forgotten and the lost. A few months passed and life returned to normal, or so we thought. One day, as I was going through some old photographs, I found a picture of us taken on the day we boarded the Midnight Express. But something was off. In the background, barely visible, was the ghostly figure of a man, his eyes hollow and expression vacant. I showed the photo to Sarah, Mark, and Lisa. Their faces turned pale as they recognized the figure. It was the same man who had appeared in several entries of the journal we found on the train. His name was scribbled hastily at the end, Jonathan Weaver. We researched Jonathan Weaver, discovering he had been a renowned scientist in the early 1900s, obsessed with time travel. He had mysteriously vanished without a trace during one of his experiments. It seemed he had somehow become a part of the Phantom Train's twisted reality. The revelation sent chills down our spines. We had escaped the train, but it seemed a part of it had followed us back. Our dreams were haunted by the image of Jonathan Weaver, and the feeling that our journey wasn't truly over. The Phantom Train had left its mark on us, and the specter of its reality continued to linger, a constant reminder that some doors, once opened, can never truly be closed.